Well, we've expanded here a little bit at the dealership, and because of that, we have a little bit more room for vehicles like the GX 550. And this one is the executive package, which I haven't done a deep dive and close look of in quite some time. So in today's video, let's go over just a few quick little details about the GX Executive. I'm Dustin Mason from Performance Lexus in St. Catharines. Here is the GX 550 Executive. And it's been a while since I got really up close with a package of this caliber. A lot of the ones that we've had come in have been the luxury packages or the overtrail packages. So kind of nice to get a little bit of a review on the Executive. So one of the things that you're gonna notice right away, other than the really nice daytime running light, is the triple beam LED headlights behind. And that one does have the adaptive intelligent high beam system, which I'm a big fan of. And these are the type of features that you're gonna get going up to a package like this. My favorite feature is by far, I'm gonna show you, I'll try to point this down. When we open the door, those running boards. Not only is it cool that they come out and that's like a cool party trick, but they're actually super usable. Like I'm 6'1", usually running boards do nothing for me, but being able to actually use them to get into the vehicle is super nice. So that's been a nice sort of bonus to the executive package, and Lexus doesn't usually do that, so it is also kind of cool. It does have quite the mechanism. A lot of people ask me if I think that they're gonna freeze up in the winter or get all gunked up and stuff like that, but I don't think so. It looks pretty rugged to me, and I mean, only time will tell. Another thing about the Executive that I really like, you know, other than this really nice two-tone brown interior, which obviously I'm a big fan of, but also too, what you could do is press this little button up here, and that will actually change on the fly the frosting on the sunroof. So super sharp. I think it's a really high-tech feature. And the GX Executive has tons of high-tech features. I mean, when you see my little face here, when you flip this and the vehicle's on, it turns into that camera. If you couldn't see out the back of the mirror, you would actually just be able to like have a camera that's on the back of the rear glass, be able to see out. And at first I was like, when would that ever be useful? But a friend of mine reminded me, well, if you had kids in the bag and you're on a road trip and you stacked, you know, boxes and suitcases all the way to the ceiling, that's a nice way to be able to like actually see out instead of having to look through the rearview mirror, 3 people's faces and 3 people's heads and boxes and stuff like that. So that's when I would use that for sure. So obviously we have our classic GX shift handle, and it's one of the ones I really like. It is the same as like the ES series. So kind of like our mid-size luxury sedan has that same shifter. It's, you know, very ergonomic, and also it's kind of nice how big it is. We have our drive mode select and mode selector here. So the GX is a very capable SUV, and even though this one is the, you know, executive, which is kind of more luxury than off-road, the vehicle is still really capable, and we can kind of fine-tune that between mud, snow, rain, all of those things. It does have ECT second, which can be useful depending where you live and what you do with the vehicle, and a tow haul mode, which is nice too. We have our bird's eye view switch just above that. Obviously brake hold, which a lot of my viewers have always said is a very underrated and not talked about enough feature. Our 4 low and 4 high. So again, I think the average GX owner probably just leaves it in high, but it does have 4. So if you were ever in a pickle and you needed to, that's how you switch it right here. And then we have that locking differential in this package as well. So again, when it comes to any of the off-road gear and buttons, it's like you want to use them in stages. So if you're driving through, you know, snowy, muddy, whatever, keep it in high 4. And then when you get into trouble, I was taught to put it into 4 low. And then if you get in trouble again, then you can lock that differential, and et cetera, et cetera. And on the overtrails, there's even more of those. So it's kind of like a backup plan, if you will. Okay, so also another thing, which I don't know, I'm excited about this now, is the cool box. So in here, we have a little cool box. It kind of, all it really does is pipe the HVAC system into this vehicle, or sorry, into this area. So it's great for water bottles. I call it the champagne cooler. Even though it's in the front seats, you probably shouldn't encourage any drinking of champagne in the front seat of a vehicle, but I think it's kind of like a classy homage to luxury vehicles and stuff like that. Also, you'll see we have Mark Levinson on the speakers. Now, Mark Levinson is something I've talked about a lot on the podcast, a lot on this YouTube channel and the podcast lately, because I recently did some training with Mark Levinson recently, and I learned way more about that company than I ever knew before. A lot of it because it's more of a tech company than it really is a speaker company. And it used to be for a very long time that you could only get a Mark Levinson at this price point by buying a Lexus. Okay, so a couple other things. Obviously we have the executive wheels, and those tie in well with this pearl white paint. We have the little doggy glass that I always call it that pops up from the back here. On the back it just says the GX550. Obviously suits this color really nicely. You'll see the trim is kind of more like an off gray, but it is painted. Again, some of those off-road versions have more of like the textured plastic like we see here on the fender walls.